Well, good morning. It's a new week, and in this video we're actually going to be heading to Venice, which is a destination that I've wanted to visit for a very long time, and so I'm really looking forward to going over there and getting to explore and see Venice for the first time. But before we do that, I am going to be heading down to London to finally take Santos in to have the screw reinstalled into the strap, because at some stage it must have fell out. That is a job that I've needed to do for a while. I also want to go and have a look in suit supply as well, because I didn't really get much time the last time I visited because I had meetings and other things that I needed to do, and so I didn't really get an opportunity to do much whilst I was in there. So this time I want to go down, have this sorted, potentially go into Ralph Lauren and look at their ties. We'll see what time we get. But on the subject of watches, I have had my Rolex now in for a service and I guess a kind of repair. It had a lot of things that needs to be done on it. They've had it for like 3 months, and I got a message the other day saying that they were struggling to get a part or something, so it was going to take even longer. So I think I'm going to be without that watch for a very long time. It doesn't feel like it's going to come anytime soon, but I'll keep my fingers crossed. I also have had my eyes on a few other watches recently, which are just particularly difficult to acquire. I guess my taste in watches aligns with a lot of people because there seems to be a lot of demand for the watches that I've inquired about. I recently inquired about a Jaeger-LeCoultre watch, which is absolutely stunning, and it was a limited edition collaboration with Casa Fagliano, who are a polo bootmaker. It transpired that they'd actually only made 100 of these watches. I also, like many people, fell in love with the Patek Philippe Nautilus with the green face, which was their latest edition. That now kind of resells on the grey market for, upwards of 350 to $500,000. So that was a little bit out of my reach. And in previous times, I've also looked at trying to get hold of an AP Royal Oak as well. And so I keep on knocking on doors and they're not getting opened. And so my watch collection at the moment is very much reliant on my Santos and a couple of Longines watches that I have. But I am looking to expand my collection. I really love the idea of having a nice leather strapped dress watch, which is what the Reverso from Jaeger-LeCoultre would have been. It would have been a perfect dress watch and something that I could have worn when I was going to slightly more formal events, but it also plays really nicely into those casual times. 2 seconds. Sorry about that. I've lost track a little bit of where I was at, but essentially I do have eyes on the market for a new watch, and there are such a vast amount of watches that I would love to own. I need to stay on top of it and try and be sensible, because I guess watches for guys are probably like handbags for some women, and we just could get very carried away with the watch world. But I recently was introduced to Panerai as well, which I saw some absolutely incredible watches on their site as well. And there have been many other watches that have crossed my path and I've been like, wow, that's incredible. And I've done a little bit of digging, and it just seems that they're just not there to be purchased, or if they are, they're just like astronomical prices, which I'm aware that currently the watch market, or the grey watch market, is certainly taking a slight decline, which was to be expected because obviously it rose very quickly out the back of COVID, and actually during COVID I think as well. It was very much on the rise, and so when anything goes up it must come down, and I think that that's what's happening a little bit at the moment, especially with all of the instability and uncertainty that's going on in the world. So that's what's happening right now in the watch space for me, but I am going to go down and hopefully get this Santos repaired, and then we will hopefully embark on our journey across to Venice. Well, I've quickly popped into Ralph Lauren and I'm going to be trying on a couple of cardigans. Cardigans is something I actually haven't brought in a very long time, but I've got this
patterned but quite softly patterned detailed cardigan here with the brown horn buttons, and then I've gone for a cream cashmere one just here. We're going to try those on and see how they come out. And then I've also selected a suit. Unfortunately, I don't have my sizes in, so we're just trying these just for reference, but really beautiful wool pants here. They've got the side adjusters on them, and I have the jacket that will go with this. I'm actually a size up on Ralph Lauren, so I'm normally a 38 regular. I'm going to be taking a 40, and then we're just going to do some tweaks on the sleeves, but I think they look really beautiful. They're going to be lovely for the season. You can see here on the leg they've got the English pleat, so a European pleat folds this way and an English pleat folds inwards, so they will look slightly baggier just on the top inside leg, but I think it suits the style of these trousers. They're actually a really nice deep olive green. They're coming up a little bit grey on the camera, and so yeah, I'm going to quickly try these on, and fingers crossed we can make some purchases today here before heading up to the danger zone that is Purple Label. Welcome to Danger Zone. Wow, this looks incredible up here. Look at that robe. Well, I've just walked into another section of Ralph Lauren potential purchases. I've been after one of these shirts for a very long time, so that might be getting tried. And also this absolutely beautiful herringbone jacket. So we'll see.
Well, yesterday's shopping trip was a huge success. I ended up stumbling into Ralph Lauren and I didn't leave for around about 4 hours. The staff in there were incredible. They looked after me really well, and I have some stuff to share with you guys, but we're not going to do it in today's video. I'm not going to wait for the builders to stop working because I think they've got a very busy day ahead of them. They're going to be working all day long, and so please bear with me with the noise. The garden renovations are in full flow. But back to Ralph Lauren. They were absolutely perfect in store, and I ended up walking away with some lovely pieces, and rather than sit here and unbox them with you and take up another 10 minutes of this video, instead what I'm going to focus on is just quickly talking to you about my Cartier Santos experience. And in next week's video, if you want to see what I purchased in London, because I did end up also visiting Suit Supply, and I've also got an order that I placed in the week from House of Brewer. So we're going to do a little unboxing in a second, and that will be in next week's video, so make sure you come back to see what we picked up. But Cartier, so I headed into their boutique, which is closest, I think it's Old Bond Street, I think where the boutique is located, and the stuff are amazing. Unfortunately, the watchmaker didn't have the screw to replace it in my strap, which meant that they needed to order it in, which is going to take around about 3 weeks. So they said to me, look, you can take your watch away and you can bring the watch back in when the part's in and we'll install it for you. Unfortunately, we can't send you the screw because little did I know, the screws don't screw in, they actually plug in. And so they've got a tool that they use to plug in these tiny little screws that you can see on the back of the strap. So I was a little bit disappointed because, as I mentioned at the start of this video, my Rolex has been in for months now, and Cartier had just informed me that they were going to be taking my watch for the best part of a month. So I was like, okay, no problem. Let me know if you find a screw, because they needed to have a deeper look, and give me a call back, and I'll make a decision whether I want to pick the watch up or just leave it with you guys for a few weeks. It transpired that they didn't, but she said, what we're going to do is we're going to offer you our courtesy watch, which kind of spun the whole process on its head, because I was a little bit disappointed that the watch was less than a year old and it was already going to be taken away for another month, which was a little bit disappointing. And so having a courtesy watch I thought was a really nice touch, certainly nothing that I was offered by Rolex. So what they've ended up giving me is another large Cartier Santos, but this one has the white face. So mine just has a blue dial. pretty much the same apart from that. In fact, exactly the same apart from that. I'm not going to be without my Cartier Santos, which I am loving wearing. It really does go with so much of my wardrobe. I never feel like it's too dressy or too underdressed. It's a perfect blend, and the watch just works really nicely across board. I'm very impressed that they offer this as a service. Obviously, I take the liability, the cost of this watch, just like I would with my own, but it means that I can wear a watch or not go without a watch of this style and model during the time that I will be without mine. The way in which it will work is I will then return this watch back with free returns, and once they receive it, they'll then send my watch back to me. I'm going to be without my actual watch for about a month, but it shouldn't matter too much because I'm going to have this instead. I'm going to go upstairs and get my stuff packed because we go tomorrow really early, and I'm going to take you on, I think we're there for about 3 days in Venice, and so I'm going to take you on my trip, and we're going to be staying in the Radisson. It's actually a partnership that I'm doing with Radisson Collection over on my Instagram. Nothing on this video is sponsored, just to clarify that, but I am doing a partnership with them over on Instagram, and it's in collaboration with a photographer called Minty, and he's This Minty Moment on Instagram. I followed him for years. I believe he's based in LA, I could have that wrong, and he's like a minimalistic architectural photographer. I love his style. He's got beautiful work, and he's partnered with the Radisson Hotel with his photographs to be displayed as art, as far as I'm aware. That's what we're going to find out, and I'm looking forward to meeting him in person. So it should be a really lovely trip, and the only downside is I've just checked the weather and we are due showers and rain, which for a place that's so predominantly focused outside might be a little bit restricting, but at least we'll get to explore the hotel. I've looked online, it looks absolutely beautiful, so of course I'll be able to showcase you my room and aspects of the hotel. So I'm going to get busy, and I'll catch you when we're in Venice. We have just touched down in Venice, and I wasn't sure exactly what I was expecting, but I didn't expect to be riding solo on a beautiful mahogany taxi boat, but that is exactly what's happening. We're just leaving the water taxi port right now, and we're going to be checking in this evening ahead of what I believe is going to be a small tour around the local area where the hotel is situated, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Minty's inspiration behind his photography as part of his collaboration with the Radisson Collection. We have arrived. This is everything I was hoping it was going to be. Wow. So we're just about to arrive to the hotel. It's the one here in the middle, the white. Very well located. This is the reception area. We're just waiting to be checked in. Before I get unpacked and ready for dinner this evening to meet the rest of the team, I thought I'd quickly give you a room tour. As you can probably see behind me, look at those ceilings. I think that, if nothing else, is a nod to the fact that, as I understand it, this hotel actually used to be a palace, hence Palazzo Nanni. Now, I've probably not pronounced that correctly, but the Radisson Collection Hotel here in Venice did in fact used to be a palace, which is very cool. So, if I quickly show you the entrance, as you'll see, we've got this incredible ceiling, which is really nice and high. It feels very grand. And then you walk through here, and then this section that you can see here boxed out is the bathroom. Now everything is like brand new, so it's all looking really tidy. It's got a really nice clean feel to it. They've supplied some shower gels, shampoos and conditioners, which is always good to know. And we've got a his and her sink here with a marble work surface, which has actually got a really nice grain to it. I really like that. And then we've got the bidet and the toilet over here. And then if we walk back out, we've got a workstation that I will be using, and that's got a PowerPoint and a nice light on it. I do appreciate it when hotels put a little place for me to just set up camp and do a little bit of work. Over to the left, you'll see we have a sofa here, just a nice little spot to rest in the morning, perhaps with a coffee. Talking of coffee, coffee machine over here.
We've got a kettle and a coffee machine, wardrobe space as well. And then just down here we have the mini bar. And then if we spin around, you'll see that we've got a nice king size double bed, which they've actually situated in the middle of the room, which means there's lots of space either side and around. Really nice parquet flooring in here. And then on the opposite side, again, we have probably a more suitable place to have your morning coffee. We've got some fruit that's been left, a nice little welcome note. And also, I'm very happy to announce there is a full-size mirror in the room with ample lighting to see yourself clearly in it. So that's something that I know that we talk about on hotel stays quite a lot, is when hotels don't have a full-length mirror, because it's really nice when you're getting ready before you head out just to check that you're absolutely comfortable with what you're wearing. And so this right here is very important. And then last but not least, over in this little corner we have another wardrobe section with some compartments for shoes and stuff, which I actually think is really nice. It kind of, you can tuck away your suitcase down here and then you're not really interrupting the main living space. That is a quick room tour and that very impressive ceiling. And like I said, I'm going to quickly get dressed and changed because this is my travel stuff. It was a really easy flight over and also water transfer over as well. I don't know if it's normal. I'm assuming it is normal to get a lovely mahogany taxi boat. But when I've previously visited countries, that's kind of like a special treat to get in a boat that's of that standard. And so I was just jumped in it. I was like, oh, this feels really special. Lovely quilted seats, and my driver was very cool as well. He had a big beard, some really cool shades on. So yeah, it was probably about a 15-minute water transfer over, just at a guess. Wasn't tracking time, so that could be off, but I believe it was. You may have seen as we were pulling in, we're actually situated right under, I guess you wouldn't call it a bus stop, would you? Like a taxi stop. So if you're staying here and you wanted to visit some of the other islands or other locations via the water taxis, we're situated right above that, which means that transfers are super easy. I do apologise. Earlier I had this on a fixed white balance, so it's very yellow in here, possibly a little bit too blue now. However, I am dressed ready for this evening's welcome drink. So I'm wearing my new cashmere cardi from Ralph Lauren, my Luca Filoni linen shirt, which actually they just shot their autumn winter 22 collection here in Venice, so I thought that was a nice little tie. My Brillia 1949 linen pants, probably not going to see much of these as we come into autumn winter. And then to finish off the look, I'm wearing my Loro Piana moccasins, so I'm all set, ready to go. I've also got the Cartier Santos Lone Watch on, and so I'm going to go and meet everybody on the first floor for what I believe will be a little bit of opera and some welcome drinks. But do they eat late here?
Yes.
Okay. We're going in.
This is where we had lunch. Yes.
Going in for dinner. Aggie, 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 1, 2, 3.
Really good.
Wow, look at this place. Is this where we're having dinner this evening?
Ok, grazie.
Perfetto. Vegetariani? Yeah, 2 meals.
Grazie.
For vegetarian.
Io non alcolico.
Yes, please, thank you. Got the Spritz. So we've moved on to a new little spot, just off the back of a bridge. How cute this is. This is love. Na, na, na. I feel like we are living the Italian dream right now. Minty, the photographer that I was mentioning. Well, good morning. I had a lovely sleep last night. Really nice little touch. They left a lavender pillow spray, and That was a little detail that I used to not really be that fussed about. Since I've been married to Lydia, she's taught me about these little differences in life. I would say that I'm very much aligned with the importance of a good pillow mist. So it was nice last night to fall asleep to the smell of lavender. But as you can see, I'm dressed ready for the day ahead. I've gone for a very autumnal colour palette. I've got my safari jacket on from Onslow, silk polo from Boss, wearing my Loro Piana linen trousers and my GH Bass tassel loafers. I'm just going to go out today with my Sony and just travel light. So I'm not going to take the vlogging camera, I'm going to do some vlogging on my phone. I'm just about to meet the rest of the team, and we're going to head out this morning to see a Venetian artisan do some glass making. We then have lunch, and I think we're going to be exploring some of the local area and possibly traveling to another area in Venice. I'm not quite sure, I need to reread the itinerary, but I think we've got quite a jam-packed day. There's also an art museum somewhere involved in all of this as well, so it should be a lovely day exploring. The forecast is rain, but we currently have sun, so keeping my fingers crossed. I've got my sunglasses in my pocket, staying optimistic. I'll catch you whilst we're out and about with the Radisson Collection team. Well, this is my morning commute out of the hotel. Look at that floor. It's just incredible. Morning! Wow, what a day. Thank you very much. That was cool, wasn't it? Yeah? I thought it was burning money then. So it's still pretty hot. Yeah. It looks like you can take off and drink.
So, now let's say that the glass is done, but it's still not ready to use, okay? So once the artist makes the product, we need to pass to the right side. The right side are our cooling ovens.
We are just watching the guys do some glass blowing here. It's actually incredible to see the craftsmanship. So essentially these are the furnaces that they use to heat the glass, and then over on the back side you'll see they are the furnaces that are used to cool down the glass, that are probably the same heat as a pizza oven. And these are, I'm not actually sure on the exact temperature, but they're incredibly hot. And then they use a lower heat to start cooling them down again. This chandelier up here is actually from Dolce & Gabbana's collection. We were told that this would retail at around about £100,000. So not cheap, but you can understand why when you see the craftsmanship that goes into making these. Thank you. Well, we've just seen the guys working their magic, and this is some of the stuff that they produce. The horses are actually very impressive. I particularly like them in the gold colour. We've got some big dolphins over here. Oh, wow. Got guitars. There are literally no limits to what they can do. Very impressive.
That's why, because before it was
We've just jumped off our water taxi and we've arrived to Burano. And as you can see, it's a very colourful place here. A little bit brighter than where we're situated at the Radisson Collection Hotel. Look at that. What an amazing place to live. I love how worn down and how much character these properties have. So we're just about to go and watch them show us how they make the lace. Wow, Lydia will like this. Lydia.
Everybody speak English?
Am I the only sitting?
You look very chic there. It works well.
Someone sits with me, please.
Ou français?
Ladies, come on.
Français? Ben, si vous comprenez pas, après on va faire en français. Alors, this is the work, this is the work. Where we start, the starting. We choose a pattern, then we draw the pattern on a wax paper. Then we fix this paper into several layers of thick paper, one piece of a cloth, and following the design, we have to make a basting stitch. In the past, it was done by hand. Now is the only part that can be done by machine. Then we start with the real work. By one needle and thread, we only enter into the guidelines and doing all little knot on surface. You see that we never touch the paper. We have to build every part, stitch by stitch. When this part will be done, the work pass to another lady because there are 7 steps and each lady does 1 step. Another lady does the barrette to connect all the patterns together, this part. Then another one does the net like a tool with a fine thread. And after this one, another one gives the raist to every part. So she will fix all around the design, a thick thread by a fine thread until every part comes raising up. When it is completely done, to take off the lace, we only cut the basting stitch done by machine in between the paper and the material with the blade, and the lace will be free. Need to be clean on the back from all the thread rest from the stitch by machine, and when it is clean will be in this case completely done. But when we have something like the lace that we have on a tablecloth or this, or a runner, something that is bigger than this pillow, we have to do all little pieces and then join all together. And that is the work, completely done by one needle and thread.
And here is some of the work that these guys produce. There's some very elegant fans. I think Lydia would appreciate this place. Oh, I'm very jealous. Yours looks better, actually. I feel like yours needs to film it. Thank you for allowing me to film your food. You can carry on.
Okay.
That's great fork action.
I'm not very good. But I just like
that was perfect. You've absolutely nailed that. I've gone for the burrata.
How is it?
And for the main event, we've got a spaghetti.
I think one other person can fit in the bag. For sure it's breakfast. Yeah.
Well, as you can see, we are back at the hotel and I'm ready for dinner this evening. We actually have a Aperol Spritz masterclass tonight, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to. Just having a lovely dinner. For my last night here in Venice, it has been a very quick trip, but it feels like I've seen quite a lot of the area already. We actually spent the day exploring and walking, and so it was really nice to sort of walk around the streets and soak up the atmosphere. And also, how cool is it watching Nonna at work? She was just doing something that she absolutely loves. You can tell that she has a huge passion for it. I think somebody asked how long she had been doing it, and her answer was, I started when I was 10 and I've been doing it for 70 years. A lifetime in her craft, and I think that you can see that within their work. It was absolutely immaculate. But anyway, I'm gonna go and meet the rest of the team and enjoy our last evening here in Venice.
Well, we've just been working on a fragrance masterclass, and I've decided to go for bergamot, blonde woods, and I can't remember what the other one was. Patchouli and vetiver. See how that turns out in a second.
Yeah, it's my name, my middle name.
5 drops of sexy library. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I thought it was too sweet.
But her first thought was it smells like sexy library.
So we're just about to start the Aperol masterclass and get stuck into this.
Used to drink a lot in Austria. Okay, Austria, there was really low temperatures, not nice weather as here in Italy. So the grapes, Austrian grapes, had less sugar. Wine produced from that grapes is stronger in alcohol because it has less sugar. So they were used to drink, I don't know, a bottle of wine, okay, or bottle of wine. And when they came here, when they tried to do the same, you know, they were not able to move anymore, not able to function the same way. So what they did, okay, they were putting a bit of water in their wine. Okay, so flat wine, flat water. This is the grandfather of all spritzes, okay? So in Austrian, Spritzen means like just a splash, okay? So splash of water in a wine. These are the beginnings of the Spritz in 18th century, brought by Austrian army. 50 years in the future, Austrians went away. In Venice, you had a habit to drink a Spritz. But then we have in introduction the seltz, the soda. It was invented in 1920s. First bitter produced is the Aperol, which is produced in Padova. We had sparkling water, okay, and not anymore flat wine, but the sparkling wine, which is Prosecco. So this is how basically the Spritz was invented.
Original Aperol Spritz, and this is the new one.
Sorry, can you explain these different four on here? They're all essentially a similar thing.
The different liqueurs.
Different.
Yeah, because I'm doing it one by one.
So we're just having they're all. This is a select Spritz.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
And that's an Aperol Spritz. They're kind of all the same thing, same basis. Just like
No, so method of production is the same. You have the infusion of botanics, okay, alcohol, and that's it, and sugar, okay. So the difference is that some of them are more alcoholic, more aromatic, okay, or more sweet. Like
So they're ultimately the same, but they're different.
But the funny thing is, it's like everyone just goes Aperol Spritz because that's the most well known.
Yeah.
You don't ask for. Do you ask for a select Spritz?
In Venice, if they perceive you are not tourist, they will ask you which kind of spritz to say. Spritz, like for example, they ask which kind of spritz. But if they see you are tourist, they give you Aperol and you will be fine. After this class, hopefully you will order different spritz, so they will put you with different eyes, you know?
Yeah,
Hey,
nice.
Spritz.
Okay. If we start, basically if you come to Venice and you order a select spritz and talk with your hands, then you're in with the locals. Yeah.
More Italian.
Yes.
Thermal express.
We've got master mixologist Jacob on the spritz this evening. Oh, yeah, it's juicy. This doesn't look like a spritz you're making. This looks like something different.
That's 3 splashes.
Maximum 30.
This isn't an Aperol Spritz, is it? He's put sweet.
Put something weird in before. I don't know what that's going to do.
Yeah.
Go, baby, go.
I'm just waiting for the big shake.
Yeah, I just want to capture the shape. Can you get on with it?
Alright, wait, babe.
This is a big moment. Don't mess it up. I want no spillage. No spillage. High to the sky. Get it up. Send it up. Come on, baby. Drop it. That was impressive. I give him that.
Remember not to shake the
Just a little top off.
Oh.
Look at that. There we go, guys.
Bravo.
Yeah, so we'd like to try some.
No, this is like a...
Can I make one for you, please?
Approval?
Yes.
Yeah?
It smells very lemony.
Thank you very much. Enjoy. Who's next?
What does it smell like?
Same shows.
Taste like?
Actually tastes really good. Yeah. I approve. Cheers.
Never seen a bartender, but spine.
That's actually preferable than a normal spritz.
Look at that.
You already lost the heels. I saw him in the lift. He's holding
Fish soup you will have in Venice. Enjoy.
The best fish soup.
Yes.
Perfect.
He's very proud of this fish soup.
Made in love and passion.
Oh, okay.
Did you see the fish market?
Tk you.
I'm having a small heart attack.
That looks amazing.
So, I don't know if it's working, but it's very, very old, so...
Wow.
Thank
you. Who said it?
You said that.
You guys. So too much.
Okay.
Sophistication. And then there's my breakfast. Well, it's a good morning and a farewell. Today we're going to be checking out of the Radisson Collection Hotel. Just to sort of clarify on what the Radisson Collection is, because you may not be familiar with the terminology. You may have heard of Radisson Blue and Radisson Red. Well, Radisson Collection is their top tier level hotel, and they're starting to pop up here and there, Venice being one of those destinations that they've sat a Radisson Collection hotel. And as you can hopefully see from my video, the rooms are absolutely stunning. If you are in Venice, you should definitely check out this hotel. It's situated really nicely. Like I said earlier at the start of the video, it's actually positioned right by a taxi rank, which is very convenient for travel, because of course, if you want to move around when you're in the city or even visit other islands, you're going to be needing to jump on boats. So I'm very impressed with what I've seen while staying here. The food has been fantastic. Last night was so funny. We just had a load of laughs. We were actually discussing how everybody met, and some of the stories that were coming out were absolutely hilarious. So it was lovely to bond the rest of the guests and the team from the Radisson Collection. But just before we depart Venice, I am going to be going boating, which, the weather holds off, yet again, is something that I've wanted to tick off my bucket list. So it would be amazing to get that done and experience boating around Venice. So I thought just before I head out, I'd quickly show you my outfit today. I'm wearing a hazel coloured knit from Moss Bros. Great value for money. They're around about 50 quid. And the quality of them for the value offset is actually really good. And I've gone for a navy jacket that's very old. It's from Zara. And then I've got my Pinny Palmer trousers on. Over a slightly thicker cotton, which I know I reference a lot, so great for this time of the year. And then I'm wearing a pair of Calvin Klein socks and my Suit Supply moccasins. So that's my look complete. I'm going to head downstairs, probably grab a coffee, a bite to eat, and then we'll head out boating. We've woken up to a beautiful day here in Venice. I wasn't expecting this today. We're forecast rain. It looks like we might luck out. Some blue skies over there. This is actually the hotel balcony view from the 3rd floor. And it's the water taxi rank just here and here. We are on our way to boating. No, it's fine. Appreciate that though, mate. I'm going to film you instead. You look much cooler than I do.
You know that it's not true.
Dennis doing the daddy cool.
I'm trying to blend into the community.
Yeah, it works. I like it.
For your YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We're doing boating. You ready? So we've got the bartender from last night on the on the boat today.
Hey! You know better how to make Aperol Spritz.
Yeah. It's the Venetian flag.
Turn it on the other way. Turn it up and down.
Oh, yeah. Like this. So you go steeper here?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to keep it in the water when you're like, just do little...
Yes.
Ali improved your technique. Tell us about your technique.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
So
what are you doing differently?
Slightly wider stance. They call it the Warrior 2, Jacob. And just slightly got more rhythmic wrist action going on here. I need to keep my elbow into my waist to create more power. So I'm pushing through. Do you approve? Do you approve with the new technique?
Yeah, it's perfect.
That could have been interesting.
Oh God, can you imagine if you just got knocked out
on camera? Yeah. I would have supposed to be.
Oh look, you're...
Keep your hand right at the end of the oar as well.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's called leverage right there.
That is.
That's epic.
It is a workout, this.
Yeah.
Not quite as hard as swimming, but I guess it's like the difference between cycling and running. This is the cycling.
It's beautiful.
Rowing is cycling and running.
No, in difficulty. So it's like running's harder than cycling, and swimming's harder than rowing. You cycle, don't you, Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, you vlog as well?
Can you?
Oh, nice.
Can you do one thing?
Yes.
Can you take this place it out?
Oh, the buoy. Okay.
The other one?
Putting the safety buoy out.
Okay, not that one.
So we've just finished off doing our boating. Oh, nearly crashing. Our instructor behind here did a marvellous job. Took us on the SAS course. Hello, old friend.
That's my boy. How was it?
Yeah, we did like twice the distance apparently you guys did, because we're the elite elite boating.
Yeah, on the race. We are here since 10 minutes. We're waiting for you.
Oh, really?
Because we came half an hour ago.
Really?
No, we just.
We're back
We saw
anyway,
that you,
so
like,
we're going to
disappeared, so it was like,
get ourselves back to the hotel and we're going to be checking out, and then that will be our time complete here in Venice. So I want to quickly wrap this video up and say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. As always, I'll see you next Wednesday 5 PM. Take care.